Bandits. The roar of the crowd raises the hair on your neck. It's the hometown pride for Gridiron Gladiators. This is indoor football. This is your Salina Liberty.
We have waited all week, but now it's Liberty time. It's the Coach Heron O'Neal Show, brought to you from AJ's Sports Bar and Grill in the Alley by St. John's Military School Historical Museum and Brooks Liquor. You can watch the Coach O Show live at salinapost.com. Now ready to talk everything Liberty football, here's Devin, Hanney, and Coach Heron O'Neal.
Welcome in, that is right. We're in downtown
Salina. We're at AJ's in the Alley. I'm Devin Hanney along with Coach Heron O'Neal as we get ready for, it seems like a long time away. I mean, we've 2 Mondays that we had travel, we had the holiday with Easter, but it's been 3 weeks since we've done this. It doesn't seem like that, but it's been a while. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. It feels like a month to me because I haven't really coached in a month, so this whole ordeal kind of took me to a different level of patience and things of that nature, but it's good to be back.
We have a lot to cover. We have a lot to go over with you as we catch up, and we're going to go all the way back here to a couple of weeks ago to the last road game for the Salina Liberty was in Billings, and we talked about it a lot with your homecoming and doing things like that. Coming up later on in segment 2, we'll have our player profile. That'll be Kelvin McCoy, who just walked into the building. You are welcome to walk into the building as well. We're at AJ's in the Alley, downtown Salina, every Monday without travel or some other conflict that we have going on. But you are welcome to come in and join us for the Coach Heron O'Neal Show. Let's go all the way back here. Let's hit rewind. Let's go all the way back to the road trip in Billings. And you're kind of on the outside looking in, and you see a game that is pretty tightly contested, right? I mean, it's a game of 2 halves. Tied at halftime. Both teams have 4 touchdowns, and we're like, okay, we're in for a shootout here. This is going to be something different. But then the defense took over in this game. And this game went a long time in the second half without a score. The final score ends up being 42-34, but there were a couple of key turnovers for the Liberty offense in that game that led to outlaw scores. What were your thoughts in watching that game and kind of going over film afterwards?
Well, protection was definitely an issue. Looking at what Billings was able to do, especially without Claude Davis, they have a very talented defensive line, very talented linebackers as well. I mean, Theo has a great defense there.
Yeah.
He recruited well. To get those players, and the scheme that he runs is similar to what we do, but he has his own flavor to it. And once he saw a couple things, he pounced on it. And I got to give a lot of credit to Theo for the defensive effort that he made, and then Coach Smith doing what he did in the first half, because it was, like you said, it was a shootout for the first half. I think, like you said, 28-28. Mm-hmm. But I think it was only 1 or 2 touchdowns scored in the second half. So what Coach Carlos did in the second half, making some adjustments and keeping us in the game offensively, these past 2 weeks needed to make some more plays, didn't make it enough plays. But you got to give credit where credit is due. Billings was the better team on that day. We get our chance at Billings here in a couple weeks again. But on that day, Billings was the team, and they made the plays to win that game.
Fast forward off that long road trip, then we're sitting with a short week when we come back home to Tony's Pizza Events Center. And before the bye week, we took on the Sioux City Bandits, who at the time and still the top team in the league. They have yet to experience a loss. They're the only undefeated team in the league. That was a tight game as well. What'd you think about the Bandits game? Boy, it didn't look good in the first half, did it?
No.
But second half adjustments, and we've seen a lot of games this year so far. It is all about the adjustments, and this was one of those.
Yes, and again, I got to give a lot of credit to Coach Martinez and Coach Kavanaugh for the adjustments they did make at halftime. Looking at that game, it was a game of turnovers. We turned it over 2-3 different times, and they only turned it over 1. That's the thing that we pride ourselves on, is trying to get the most turnovers forced and not give up many given up. We didn't do a great job of that offensively with the turnovers we did have. Things, we had to make some adjustments moving forward to where we are now, and you'll see some different personnel coming in and things of that nature. But I am proud of our coaching staff for the Salina Liberty for keeping us in 2 games that are against, the arguably the two or three top teams in the league, to be right there within striking distance in the fourth quarter is all you can really ask for any football game, especially in indoor football.
This Sioux City game was interesting, and I want to talk about this on a couple of different levels. But basically Thursday evening before the game on Saturday, game plan is in. If it's not 100%, and it's pretty much in, then we get the call that Tyree Adams, the QB1 for the Liberty, is going on to the Canadian Football League and signing a contract there. So the scramble starts to happen, right? I mean, it's kind of all hands on deck. We need somebody to come here and play quarterback. You go back to somebody that you were familiar with, that is also familiar with you in Salina, and that was Curry Parham. And Parham came in, and he played pretty well in the second half, but things just around him just seemed very chaotic in the first half. It's like everybody was kind of adjusting. And, man, when you look at this game and how it ended up and just having a chance to win, actually scoring to tie the game, but that being nullified on a holding call, that's pretty good. I mean, you're not playing just an underdog in the league. You're playing the top team when this happens, and you still had a chance to beat them.
Absolutely, and every time you play Sioux City, it comes down to the last drive. So hats off to their coaching staff. You got King Loban out there, Irv and those guys. I mean, to Georgia, they've been together for so long. They've played together. They've coached together. It's not a secret, or it's not a surprise to me that they're on top of the league right now with everything that they're doing. The different personnel that they brought back in, Lorenzo at quarterback, Shepard at receiver to add on with what they already had, a great offensive line, a great defensive line. It's not a surprise that they are where they are. But if you look at what we were down, and I don't make excuses, but I'm a realist. We're down an MVP. Mm-hmm. Hasn't played besides, basically one game, if you break it down. We didn't have Tyree. Tyree is a guy that's very dynamic. He's made a lot of plays for us throughout the years. Him signing a CFL contract on Thursday, not on Monday.
Right.
On Thursday. So Coach Martinez and I on Thursday had 6 hours to find another quarterback. That's not easy. Coach Martinez is the one that came up with the idea to get us a quarterback in here. He called, and the relationship he had with Coach Gardner at Tabor University, as well as the relationship he had with Curry Parham, is how we got Curry to come back, for that game, and filled in and did a great job for us. And then in the second half of how close it was back and forth. So definitely happy with the coaching staff. I'm happy with, how Coach Martinez handled that whole situation being the assistant head coach. But for these last 2 games being the head coach, he's made all the right decisions. He went for it when he needed to go for it. He kicked the field goals when we need to kick field goals. And the adjustments that him and Coach Kavanaugh made in the second half of both of these games, I give them the utmost respect. But you got to give respect to, like Bill Parcells always say, you are what your records say you are.
Yeah.
We've lost 2 games in a row, and it shows. Sioux City has not lost a game. They made the plays when it was time to make the plays, and you have to give all respect to them.
So looking at the record right now, I'm curious to see what your evaluation is, because you're setting at 2-2. You take the non-league game out of there, that would have been 3-2, but you're setting at 2-2. When you look at the standings, you're coming in about 5th right now. The schedule, as things are taking shape week by week, and they're changing, they're subject to change all the time. You played Topeka, that doesn't have a win yet. That was the first game of the season. But then you played number 1, number 2, and number 3 in the league with Sioux City, Billings, and Omaha, respectively. So now looking at that, knowing some of the trials, and Coach Martinez and I have talked about adversity quite a bit over the last couple of weeks, looking at the adversity this team has gone through, you have to be feeling pretty good about the way you've competed and about where you are sitting, right? I mean, because you're looking at 2 home games right now. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm not happy where we're seated. We're seating right now. I'm not, because I don't go into any game thinking we're going to lose, and we've lost a couple games that I think we should have won. But I will say this, that it's not a secret or a mystery that every year we play Omaha twice, we play Sioux City twice, and we play Billings twice this year. They're the 3 top teams in the league. Name another team in the league that does that. This reminds me a lot of the 2019 season, and the schedule makers, again, did not do us any favor, because nobody else plays Billings twice. It's funny how that works. I don't call it a coincidence. There's a pattern. When it happens more than one time, it's a pattern. So don't know how that all works out, but it's funny how we always play the 3 top teams in the league twice.
I've thought about that a lot, and right now the NFL's front and center with everything going on in their league. Of course, the draft coming up starting this week, and then you're going to fast forward a couple weeks and you're going to have the schedule release shows, and it's all over the place, right? To me, transparency is key. If you want your fans to buy tickets and you want them to participate in the league, they got to have some of the answers to these things too. I think it'd be awfully intriguing if this league would do that. I would host it. I'd be up for it.
But I'm not trying to get fined, but I would love to see that transparency.
Yeah.
I'll say it that way.
It'd be great. We're off and running. We have a lot to talk about here, including the QB1 spot here for the Salina Liberty. A couple of home games coming up here at Tony's Pizza Event Center. We'll talk about those. We'll also look ahead to Kelvin McCoy. Also, the Coach Heron O'Neal Show is off and running as we take our first time out. We're at AJ's in the Alley, downtown Salina, right here on KINA, and also live streaming video on SalinaPost.com.
Professional athletes, professional football players like Peyton Manning and Jamal Charles have used PRP therapy for sports injuries and to avoid surgery. But you don't have to be a world-class athlete with millions of dollars for this cutting-edge therapy. PRP is available to you in the Salina Pain Clinic. Call the doctors for a consultation and see if this treatment is right for you. See them at 200 South 5th in the Salina Surgical Arts Center. Spring is here, and that means more time outdoors with your favorite beverages from Salina Wholesale Liquor. More time outside means more barbecues and time on the go. Perfect time to pack our portable wines and ready-to-go cocktails. We also have a great selection of new seltzers and a huge selection of wine and whiskey. Spring in and save big now at all 3 locations. In Salina at Sam's Club, off 9th Street behind Cadova, and on the corner of Iron and Ohio. We have better prices, we're close and quicker. Salina Wholesale Liquor.
The Salina Liberty play here.
After a bye week last week, the Liberty back at home for more indoor football action at Tony's Pizza Event Center. Hi everyone, it's Devin, Hanney inviting you to join us for Salina Liberty football. They will take on the Rapid City Marshals, an expansion team that's very, very good. Countdown to kickoff brought to you by Comfort Heating and Air starts at 6 o'clock. Kickoff is 6:35 for Liberty football this Saturday, and it's brought to you by Salina Medical Aesthetics.
Liberty Indoor Football on Salina Sports Station, KINA.
Let's go! When you hire street plumbing, heating, and electric in Salina and Lincoln, you'll be making a great decision. Providing full-service plumbing and HVAC, they have the knowledge and skills to get the job done right the first time. They work with you throughout the project to ensure you get the personalized service you deserve from licensed and insured technicians. Excellent customer service in Central Kansas since 1985. The experienced team will clean the premises once the job is done. Street Plumbing, Heating, and Electric. Know them better at streetphe.com.
It's spring cleaning time, and that means you should add one more little thing to your to-do list. Call Comfort Heating and Air for an HVAC clean and check. Our technicians will make sure your system is in tip-top shape, so when warm weather arrives, your AC will be ready. That means cleaning your coils, checking Freon levels, double-checking all electrical connections for safety, even changing your filters. With locations in Salina and Clay Center, we are the company that cares. Comfort Heating and Air.
You can rely on the company that cares. We're Comfort Heating and Air.
St. John's Military School Historical Museum, located on the northeast corner of 9th and Otis, preserving the 131-year history of St. John's Military School and continuing its involvement within the Salina community.
Salina Regional Health Center is proud to participate in the Salina Women's Fair April 28th at Tony's Pizza Event Center. We invite you to stop by our booth to learn more about services that Salina Regional has to offer women in the community, and also to register to win $50 in chamber bucks. Salina Regional Health Center, confidence for the good life.
And now back to the Coach O Show with Devin Hanney and Coach Heron O'Neal.
Back here at AJ's in the Alley, we're in downtown Salina. Come enjoy us, get a pizza. One of them big old 29-inchers would help. It's fit real nice in the middle of this table right now, wouldn't it?
Should be sitting right here.
Yeah, people can't understand us. So we got our friends, though, Coors Light Modelo, as they are along from Crown Distributors. You can also get them not only here at AJ's in the Alley at the bar, but also at Brooks Liquor here in Salina as well. So here we are. We set 2-2. Nice little bye week coming up, and a chance to recover over Easter week, and a chance for you to spend some time with some family, and a chance for the guys to kind of get away and do some things. What does this past 2 weeks look like? And I say 2 weeks because we don't know for sure what this week's going to look like. But you've done a lot of looking. You've done a lot of evaluating. You've done a lot of trying to replace Tyree Adams at quarterback. Let's start there. First and foremost, you have made no secrets about it. Tyree Adams moving on is a good thing. We want to be selfish and say we want him here and that stinks. It doesn't stink, though. It's great for Tyree. And I love how the last home game we had at Tony's Pizza Event Center, it was more of a celebration of Tyree and a good luck procedure for Tyree than it was anything else. Talk about that.
And that comes back to our ownership group. Why I took the job is to not only win football games, but also to move players to the next level. That's the third player. We just started my 4th year here, but the third player in 4 years to get the opportunity to play at the next level, not go work out for the next level, not go to a tryout and sign a contract. There's nobody else in this league that can say that. So if you're trying to play indoor football and you're playing in the CIF, it should be only one call you need to make. It's either, two, to Coach Martinez or myself. We have our ears to the street, so to say. We have our different agents. But if you're trying to move to the next level, there's nobody done it the way we've done it and at the level that we've done it. Not workouts, sign contracts. We were the only team in the league to sign a player to the XFL as far as a contract in the draft. There's nobody else that's done that. So the XFL is coming back next year. So what do you think will happen then? I think all of our players they're putting themselves in position to be seen by the upper levels, ready to go, coach tested, and as well as player tested of what they need to be working on to be playing at that next level. And that's what we pride ourselves on. True, Tyree is a great football player, but he's even a better person. And he deserved that opportunity. He worked his butt off for that opportunity. His skill set said that he should play at that next level, and that's why he got a 2-year contract with a 3rd-year option. That doesn't happen to everybody.
Right.
So I'm definitely happy that he did get that opportunity, and I know Tyree is watching right now, so I'm just definitely happy for him and continued success for him. And Salina, we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. We have a couple quarterbacks in camp. We're going to continue to do what we've always done. I've never been a guy to sit back and make excuses and, why us? This. We're not going to do that. We're going to keep pounding the table. We're going to keep working, and that's what Coach Martinez, Coach Kavanaugh, Coach Dillon, that's what we do. So I'm not going to make any excuses. We're going to right the ship. We lost 2 in a row, and we're going to take care of business.
So I'll ask the question for Liberty Nation because it's been the most hit question I've had over the past 7 days. Who is going to be QB1? Who are you looking at to be QB1 as we get ready to take on Rapid City at home on Saturday?
Well, we have a couple quarterbacks signed. I'm not going to sit and go into one over the other and things of that nature because that would be tipping my hand. But at this point, we do have 2 quarterbacks signed. We go to practice tomorrow to kind of see who's who, and we'll make a determination after our Thursday practice like we always do of the 21 players that give us the best opportunity to win. And Coach Martinez, Coach Kavanaugh, and Coach Dillon will make that decision, and we'll kind of go from there. But I don't want to tip my hand of saying who's who and this is QB1 and this is QB2. We don't want to do that at this particular moment.
Is Kelvin McCoy in the running?
Kelvin McCoy could be an offensive coordinator as well as a great kick returner as well. He returned 2 kick returns to the house in practice, so I got to give him credit for that. But to be real with Kelvin McCoy, last year was his best year he's ever played for me, and he's even better this year. He's the best center in the league, and I'm hoping that other teams at the upper levels are listening. He deserves an opportunity to play at the CFL, NFL, XFL, USFL level. He's ready to go. He's smarter than most coaches in this league, not just with offensive line stuff, but also he knows the route tree, he knows play calls, he knows everything. So he's a coach on the field, and I hope he gets his opportunity as well.
Had to ask, because not only has he told me, and I'm sure you, multiple times that he's always kind of working out that left arm, so I had to get your thoughts on that. So other than the quarterback spot, we're about halfway at the point in the season right now. Not quite there. Sitting 2-2. We got a lot of games coming up, starting with Rapid City at home on Saturday. And it's going to get real fast because, as we talk, the schedule does not ease up for the Salina Liberty. Every time you take the field, you have to be ready to bring it. So what are you looking at now, team evaluation-wise? What's on the top 5 list for you and Coach Martinez and this coaching staff? What are you guys looking to do? Because you said practice starts back again tomorrow, and there's not going to be a lot of time and a lot of bye weeks. I don't think people really realize that unless they look at the schedule. We had a lot of bye weeks last year, and this season went about a month longer than it's supposed to go this year with the playoffs. It's because it got compressed and condensed. You don't have all those bye weeks, so now it's go time.
No, basically the way that the schedule makers made it is, I guess our buys were in the beginning. I don't know. I've never heard of a bye being at the beginning of the season, but I guess that's when our buys were. The bye that we just went through is the only bye we have. Mm-hmm. It's other teams that have 2 buys during the season, as usual, but we don't have that. I don't make excuses about it. We have prepared ourselves. Coach Martinez and I have sat back many, many hours and prepared a preparation of what we're going to do pre-bye, after-bye. And the things that we did this year is try to upgrade our roster from every position. And we've listened to a lot of different people that want to come on and play for us and things of that nature, but we have to do what's best for our team, especially when it comes to team chemistry. But we do have a couple curveballs that we will be throwing at different people, and we'll see how that all works out come Thursday or so once we get the final of everything that's going on. And it'll probably be a couple surprise people that you probably know that you'll see with the Salina Liberty for the first time. So I'm excited about the way we recruited this past bye week. I didn't enjoy my first 3-4 days of the bye week. Coach Martinez and I worked 12-hour days Monday through Wednesday, which was no fun. And a lot of people don't understand it. Everybody thinks, okay, well, you got Tyree an opportunity. Well, Tyree got himself an opportunity to play in the CFL. It should be a floodgate of people that want to come here. That's not true. Yeah. That's not true at all. You have to convince them, and you got to tell them about your program, and that's what we had to do this bye week. It was tough. Like I said, that 6-hour window, we called 10 quarterbacks, 12 quarterbacks. Then if you look from Monday through Wednesday, we called over 25 different quarterbacks and had conversations with. So if everybody think this is easy, it's not easy. Everybody think they could be Monday evening quarterback and say you could just call play. This is a professional league, and it takes a lot of resources to go and get the ball players that you see put out there for the Salina Liberty.
Spring football is a thing. I mean, not only with Champions Indoor Football, you have the IFL with the Indoor Football League. You have fan-controlled football, which our friend Kamali Matthews is playing in. As well as Mitch Kidd was the 4th overall draft pick because of the film he put forth this past year with us. You also have the USFL that has started up. Next year you will have the XFL coming in. Mm-hmm. Does that affect the availability and also how some of these players think? There may be quarterbacks out there that you may call and they'll say, yeah, I'm on the plane, the first thing smoking here. But now they might be going, well, I talked to this team over here 30-some days ago, and I'm kind of waiting on them to call back. Is that what's going on right now? Absolutely. Coach Martinez and I, like I said, we talked to 25 quarterbacks between last Monday and Wednesday, and we had probably 6 guys that were either signed to the CFL, the USFL, already probably in the IFL. So our contact list of who we're talking to get ball players is vast and is very competitive. And it's a lot of work to try to convince somebody to come to play here, there, and another. But to play here in Salina with what we got going on, it's trending in the right direction. There's nobody in the league that can say they're doing more for their players than what we're doing as far as moving players up. I haven't heard any echoes of anybody moving up that actually played for their team and then moving up to the next level. Yes, there have been some, but not as many as we have. Does success help with that? I mean, obviously people look at how the team has played over the last couple of years. You've been in the championship game. You are a successful team right now, and you move forward. But also with guys like you said, the last 2 guys that have played quarterbacks for you, other than Curry Parham in the last game, Tyree Adams and Mitch Kidd, they're playing somewhere else right now. Absolutely, and that's why, how can you say it? People look at the resumes of the people that they're bringing in. I look somewhat at that. I look at skill trait. And if your skill trait is what I can teach and conducive with us to win,
I bring you in and I give you that opportunity as being a rookie. I mean, if you look at the quarterbacks that we've brought in now, if you look at the quarterbacks that we brought in the past, none of them have been a starter or won championships or done any of those different things. So here in Salina, we give opportunities to rookies that would not get opportunities anywhere else. Here in Salina, we have confidence in our coaching staff and our ownership group to groom you to be the star that you can be. I don't know any other contending team in this league. I mean, you have all these different teams or whatever. You see the teams that make the playoffs every year. Name another one that started a rookie last year. 2 rookies, basically. Mitch Kidd played 2 games in the NAL. And you look at Tyree, never played indoor football. Right. That's what we went into the season with. So when they look at all these different awards and this and Offensive Player of the Year and all this stuff, look at what we've done with guys that's never played indoor football. And the proof is in the pudding. If you want to win football games, if you want to be a contending team every year, come to Salina.
We've talked a lot about offense right now just because of what's going on. As we mentioned, lost Tracy Brooks with an injury. Tyree Adams has moved on now, looking to replace him and get some more guys in here. What about this defense? Over the last 2 games, this defense has played pretty well. They've had their share of adversity too, haven't they?
Absolutely. To lose D-Trey as well as Dwayne Autry for the last 2 games, basically the last 3 games for those guys, and to still put forth the effort of some of the top offenses in the league, it speaks volumes to what we're doing behind the scenes as far as coaches, but also what our leaders are doing, D-Trey and Autry, coaching up the players that are filling in for them. Now we get a chance to get those players back that already know the scheme, that already know how we understand things and how we rock. Now we're going to see where we are.
Yeah.
Sioux City is the best team in the league because their record said they are. But now we have 6 games left to see who's the best team for the regular season, and then we'll go into the playoffs from there. So I like our chances. I'm very excited to put some of these new pieces and wrinkles that we have in as far as different players, different plays, but I'm also excited to get Stephen Fluker back. Is a dominant force on our offensive line that we haven't had for the past 2 games. To get these guys, Autry as well as D-Trey back, that we didn't have in these last 2-3 games. And a lot of people grew up in this. So I'm just definitely happy with how everything is going and looking forward to the challenge for these next 6 games.
That leads me in my next question here in the last couple of minutes here before the top of the hour. We'll talk about trial by fire and giving these guys some opportunities nobody knew they were going to have. I mean, you kind of look at the roster, but there's been guys, you told me from the beginning, Tron Folsom, a middle linebacker, is going to be a star. We saw that in the Sioux City game. Tron's out there making plays after plays. I think Travis Taylor, and this is from the outside looking in, I think he is leading this defensive line into greatness with some of the guys that he has and the way that I watch him lead, not only in warm-ups but on the field and things like that. He's doing a very, very good job. So you look at that, and they're doing a really, really good job going into that. So give me your best 45 seconds on some of those younger guys. I know Corey Williams is another guy we talked about.
And that's the one I wanted to speak on a little bit. Tron has done exactly – he's ahead of schedule, to be honest. He's supposed to be making his strides after this bye week. He's already making strides. Corey has started the last 3 ball games for us. He's second on our team in interceptions. So to have, guys like that on our defense, making plays all over the place, that's what we're looking for. And it's a perfect example. We give rookies opportunities to make plays and play for us. It's some teams in this league that will not play rookies. They won't even sign them. But we do. We bring different players in from different – doesn't matter if you're D1. Shaq was a guy that was a rotational piece for us last year. He is now the full-time starter, and he's making way with what he's doing. Blocking all the field goals, making the sacks. I think he's like top 5 in sacks as well as tackle for loss. So when you have guys like that, and then you have A. Love, who played a little bit at Oklahoma State, that's a receiver, that's making plays all over the field for us. I mean, we have so many Trey, they call him Parlay, our running back, making plays all over the field. We have a player that was with 2 different teams, and now he's with us. It's just Tristan Gold, one of the best running backs in this league, that didn't get an opportunity because they were deep at other teams, and we gave him this opportunity, and he's making the most of it. So I'm very excited with our recruiting class. I'm very excited with our rookies, but I'm very impressed with how our veterans led without being on the field.
We need a sprint. We're up against the news. Heron O'Neal, we'll talk more to you on Saturday in pregame. Thanks for your time, my friend.
Thanks
Kelvin
again.
McCoy's coming up after this. KINA, here's the news.
Which gave the CDC the power to put it in place.
This is not an immigration policy. This Title 42 is a health authority that's determined by the CDC, and we need to have a conversation about immigration reform. That's vital.
Though she wouldn't comment on whether President Biden would sign legislation extending the public health order as part of any additional COVID funding legislation. Meanwhile, Republicans traveled to the border to urge the president to get tough on immigration as Missouri leads the way in keeping the pandemic-era restriction.
House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy and his GOP colleagues traveled to Eagle Pass, Texas to sound the alarm about the crisis at the border.
A country without a secure border is not a country.
Congressman Tony Gonzalez represents the people of Eagle Pass.
Everybody in this crisis, everybody's world is turned upside down.
He says the problem will only get worse next month once the CDC lifts a pandemic restriction that allows for the quick expulsion of migrants.
This is about bringing everyone together. It starts with keeping Title 42, which you're seeing as Democrats are now starting to be on board as well.
Missouri's Attorney General says his office obtained a temporary restraining order from a judge to keep Title 42 in place. Steve Rappaport, Fox News.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott has confirmed the body of National Guard Specialist Bishop Evans has been recovered. He was on duty near the Rio Grande.
He was a field artilleryman who previously served in Kuwait and Iraq, where he was helping special forces. He disappeared Friday morning around 8:30 a.m. local time after he jumped into the water to rescue 2 illegal immigrants who later turned out to be drug smugglers.
Fox's Bill Malugin in Eagle Pass, Texas. Shares of Twitter rose 5% on word that Elon Musk's offer to buy the company has been accepted. America is listening to Fox News.
You know, every 3 seconds there is a new victim of identity theft. A criminal could be applying for loans in your name, selling your personal information on the dark web. Now, protecting your identity can be very easy thanks to LifeLock by Norton. No one company can prevent all identity theft or monitor every transaction of every business, but LifeLock, it's simple and easy to protect yourself, and you'll save up to 25% off your first year when you go to LifeLock.com or call 1-800-LifeLock. Just use the promo code Hannity.
Novo Platform Inc. is a fintech, not a bank. Banking services provided by Middlesex Federal Savings, FA, member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
You're making something new with your business. To support you, Novo built a new kind of business checking. Instead of a one-size-fits-all approach, Novo is customized to your business to save you time and free up cash flow. Sign up for your free business checking account right now. Plus, our listeners get access to over $5,000 in perks and discounts at novo.co/today. novo.co/today.
A Florida judge is starting over and picking jurors in the case of the Parkland, Florida school shooter.
Jury selection in the penalty phase proceedings for admitted Parkland, Florida gunman Nicholas Cruz is starting over after Judge Elizabeth Scher realized she failed to fully question potential jurors before holding or dismissing them from service.
There are rules that all jurors must follow. A basic rule is that jurors must decide the case only on the evidence presented in the courtroom.
Prosecutors are seeking a death penalty for Cruz, who pleaded guilty to murdering 17 people at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. Despite a guilty plea, a jury needs to decide whether a death penalty applies. In Broward County, Florida, Eben Brown, Fox News.
The parents of a 14-year-old boy who fell to his death at a Florida amusement park last month have sued its owner, the manufacturer of the ride, and the park's landlord. The parents of Tyree Smith say their 6'2", 300-pound son wasn't warned about the risks of going on the ride, and the restraint system wasn't proper. A blast of winter is taking a toll on Oregon's wine industry for one vineyard owner.
Winery slammed.
Mother Nature will do what she does.
Kim Bellengar owns Bellengar Estates.
This is an unprecedented event in the Willamette Valley to have cold temperatures in April. We had snow in April.
The vines had just started sprouting green buds that would eventually bear fruit a week before Northwest Oregon's record snowstorm. Bellengar says The frost killed the buds, turning them brown and crunchy.
The challenge is that there's not much you can do.
80% of the buds on her vines are damaged, but she says the vines will survive, adding the frosty weather will impact the quantity of wine, not the quality. CJ Papa, Fox News.
At the box office this weekend, DreamWorks Animation's The Bad Guys bested the field, earning $24 million its debut weekend. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 in second place with $15.2 million. I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
And now here's Devin Hanney with your Liberty Player Profile, brought to you by AJ's in the Alley,
There we go.
St. John's Military School Historical Museum, and Brooks Liquor.
Back here at AJ's in the Alley, we're in downtown Salina. Always welcome you to come on out. Bring your questions. Also, bring a football and your Kelvin McCoy jersey, because sometimes Kelvin McCoy might be here to sign it for you.
Yes,
I mean, what are we kidding? You're here every show, so you are the staple of the show. You want to get in on some behind-the-scenes stuff here, don't you? You're looking at camera work and things like that. I'm not great on this side of the camera, but, I mean, this might be some future for you here.
Hey, listen, I try to be a jack of all trades, working behind the scenes, in front of the scenes. It's what I do,
So let's go back to your roots a little bit. California guy, if I remember right. I
Yes,
took
sir.
no notes about you. You've been around enough that I think I remember most of this stuff. But you're one of what I would call a Coach O'Neal original. So you've been with Coach O'Neal before Salina. When he said, I'm coming to Salina, and there was, some people in his Rolodex that he's going to call, you're one of those guys.
Yeah.
So you're hearing Coach O on the other end. You're hearing Salina. And what are you thinking? You were out in Dodge City with him, right, for a little bit? So you're going from western Kansas to what we call central Kansas. Some people still call this western Kansas. But what's your thoughts when you got the call from Coach O and he said, we're doing Salina next?
Honestly, I was already bought in. I definitely already wanted to experience another year with Coach O, just off of what we went through in Dodge City. I wish things could have ended a little better in Dodge City for us. That was a great town. I definitely love the fans and the atmosphere there. But when he told me he was making a move and asked me that I want to come along, I felt like it was a no-brainer for me, just because of the type of coach he is. And I felt like I had a lot more to grow in this league, and the people that he's already dealt with in the past, I felt like I couldn't go wrong,
So there's a few guys still Coach O originals that are around and on this team. You guys have had a chance to kind of absorb everything in and see some of the moving parts around you. Does it ever amaze you about what him and Coach Martinez are able to do with just things like Tyree Adams? He gets a chance to move on, go somewhere else. Now you see their real magic start to happen, right? And then,
Yeah.
I mean, there's been times where I've seen from game to game, you got a new guy on your left, a new guy on your right, maybe snapping the ball to a new guy, but you're kind of the staple in the middle of that offense. What do you think about the way he recruits and the way guys have a tendency to gravitate towards them?
Man, honestly, Coach O has recruited some great players that I've been with since I've just been here with him in 2017. We've had guys come from NFL. We had guys come from CFL. We actually had my guy Kamali Matthews, who was with us in Dodge and came here in Salina. He actually had the chance to move up to the XFL 1 year and play in the fan control league as well. So just knowing the type of staple that he presents as a coach, I just feel like, man, it's no question. You can't even question his style, can't even question how he recruits or anything like that of the sort, just because the proof is in the pudding. And not only does he use it with his words, he definitely showed it.
Coach O'Neal's always trying to get guys to move on, right? He knows some of the guys, some of the merit you have, talent, hard work, things like that. He said a little bit about you early on. He thinks that you're destined for the next level. What are your goals? What do you want to do?
Oh, man, I'm going to be honest with you. I want to be better than Coach. I definitely love to play. I don't mind going to the next level and playing. I know in the long haul, though, I want to coach. I love the coaching scene. I love being around. And I want to be able to do what he has done and even more.
He mentioned that as well, that you have that a little bit destined with you. Talk about this offensive line, Kelvin. I just want to have a conversation with you because there's no secret. You're the anchor of this offensive line. You've had some pieces move around you the last few weeks because of uncontrolled circumstances. Things didn't go so well in Billings, but then all of a sudden I see you guys kind of flip the page, and you play extremely well at home against Sioux City. Talk about those two games and some of the things that you faced against two really good defenses.
Man, we just try to learn from our mistakes. We watch film. We try to correct everything we can at practice, work on and dive in on the things that we were caught missing or whatever we were lacking from the game before, and just come out with a new energy. I realize as long as my energy up, I know I can keep the rest of my lineman energy up, and we can get through anything because of the way we practice and the way we strive to be the best.
What's one of the practices like for the Salina Liberty? There's camp, and then there's regular season. You're going back to work tomorrow, right? You got a big practice coming up, going to get ready for the Rapid City Marshals. Yeah. What do you expect when you walk in the building tomorrow? What is a practice like for you in the Liberty?
Oh, man, as soon as I walk in the building, I'm going to scream. I'm going to get the energy up, you know what I'm saying, make sure everybody woke, make sure everybody alive. And then after that, man, it's a party at practice. Like, our practice sometimes feel like game days. Like, we're going against one of the best defense in the league as they're going against one of the best offense in the league. And it's literally like, hey, you not better than me. And that's how we kind of go at it and prepare ourselves to where we have to beat each other. If we can beat each other, we know that when the opposition comes, you know, we're prepared. We know we've been through it. We beat each other up. So it should be no problem to try to go out there and handle the business with the next person.
You made a comment that kind of stuck with me before we went on the air, and you said the last loss. No loss sits well with you, but the last loss didn't sit well with you because you mentioned it affected your energy and the sunshine going into the bye week, right?
Yeah.
You're coming off a loss. You also have played a lot of games at Tony's Pizza Event Center. You don't lose there very often, do you?
No, sir. And losing that one kind of still sticking with me. You know, the last time we actually lost at the Tony Event Pizza Center was the championship game last year, and that's the reason why I came back again, just to release that bitter taste, and for Sioux City to come down here and do the job that they do, all respect, because they definitely did their job. It just it still doesn't sit with me, you know. So from here on out, I can't lose. That's my mindset, and I'm going to preach it to the team that we can't lose.
Let's talk about the schedule coming up. You have Rapid City here at home on Saturday. Then we go back and we're playing, again, the top three in the league. You have Billings now at home after making the long road trip up there to play the Outlaws. They get to come to the middle of Kansas and play here. Then back-to-back road trips at Sioux City and at Omaha. Right now, when you look at the standings almost halfway through the season, Billings, Sioux City, Omaha, not in that order, those three teams are the top three teams in the league. This is a big stretch of games in the next four coming up, isn't it?
Yeah. It's definitely a big stretch. You know, we're going to do our best to prepare, but like we tell ourselves, man, it's a big game because we're in it. We don't strive to sit here and pry on who we playing and this, that, and the third. You know, Coach built his game plan, and we go out there and we try to perfect it to the best of our abilities, and that's our goal, is to do our 1-8 every day.
So I know that you are Kelvin off the field as well.
Yes,
you
sir.
have interest. We've talked about that a little bit. The production things like this kind of excite you. It interests you a little bit. What else do you like to do? What do you do with your free time?
Oh, man. My free time, man, I like to be in peace. Anything that brings me peace, I'm okay with doing. I try to live this year without any negativity. I know it's kind of hard, and, you know, negativity is definitely going to come your way, but that's what I strive to do, is just walk every day in a positive path and just let God do the rest.
Absolutely. So when you have players coming in and they're not positive, how do you handle that? Do you just pull them aside? Do you do it publicly? How do you handle that? Because it happens to some people. Some people coming in, they might come to practice tomorrow with a bad day. How do you handle that?
My approach is different for everyone. Just being around them, you kind of know what can you say or how to say it to people. So it depends. It depends on who you are and how I know I can get your energy up. Some people are introverts where you could be around a lot of people and, you know, you can state it out there in the public and they be like, all right, let me change a little bit. He pointed it out, I got to act a little different. And you got some that's extroverts and you got to go to them on the side. But, hey, come on, man, just all you got to do is get through the day. You get through these 30 minutes, this 60 minutes of practice, we're going to be good. This hour, 2 minutes, hey, listen, just get through this and watch how your day go from here.
So I'm going to let you have a chance here to shout out some of the people that are important to you. You had a chance to talk during halftime on our Precision Electric player profile last game with Brian Berner.
Yes.
About some of the restaurants schedules that you have. You said you got to stop for every day. We know that we love AJ's in the Alley here on Mondays and their big pizzas and
Yes,
their wings
sir.
and things
Yes,
like
sir.
that. what are some of your stops along the weekly restaurant tour when you're eating lunch and dinner?
Oh, man. Like I said on the halftime show, first stop, you got to go to the Pig. You know, the Blind Pig is that's my spot, baby. You got everything you need there. You got the bar, you got the food. You know, they got the pool table, anything you need there as well. My next stop, like I said, Russell's. I definitely love Taco John's. Taco John's is a little sleeper.
Yes.
I like it more than Taco Bell. So shout out to Taco John's. I definitely love it up there. And they remember that I don't eat tomatoes, so every time I go, they be like, no tomatoes, right? I be like, yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. I love it.
That's awesome. So you're getting ready for the Rapid City Marshals. What is one thing, two things, three things, how much on your list here that you really want to concentrate on as you get ready for a home game here at Tony's Pizza Event Center? That place to me is kind of a sleeper because just the way that it's built, the amount of people that it can carry, you can have a half arena in there, and it doesn't look full, but we know the people in the seats are going to do their jobs.
Yeah. Man, one thing I look for is one, like you said, you know, the people in the seats. I hope that we pack the arena Saturday, and we get everyone down here, especially after the bye week. We definitely want to make up for losing last week, and we want to bring that energy in to make sure we win, you know what I'm saying, for you guys Saturday. We also want to prepare ourselves during the week. You know, do we take care of our bodies? It's one thing I say after every practice is take care of your bodies. So, you know, I just prepare myself. I'll probably go to the YMCA, get in the pool, take a couple of laps. You know what I'm saying? Make sure I take care of my body. Make sure I go see our chiropractor down there at Salina Spine. And then, you know, that's pretty much it for me after that. You know, I just try to get off my feet. Can't get on these bad boys too long.
Pleasure talking to you again.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Kelvin McCoy, he is the
Appreciate
center, the southpaw center, as I like to say, for the Salina Liberty, the staple of the offensive line. We'll see him in action on Saturday. Now, when we come back, we're going to get a chance to talk to, we call him Big Smooth, right? Big old Roy Lawrence.
Yes, sir.
And what should I ask him? You got one question I should ask Roy?
Let me see. What should we ask Big Roy? Big Smooth.
Give me something after break. Well, how's that?
Yes, sir. I have something for you.
All right.
have something for you.
We're back with the Coach Heron O'Neal Show. After this, you're listening on KINA and watching on SalinaPost.com.
Sports medicine physician Dr. Matthew Pyle, along with orthopedic surgeons Drs. Travis Rump and Todd Riley, plus an A-team of certified athletic trainers and physical therapists. We're ready when you need us to help prevent injuries, enhance performance, or to heal through surgery and rehabilitation. For area athletes to weekend warriors, the home field advantage starts at Salina Regional Orthopedic and Sports Medicine.
K4 Trailer, RV and truck accessories in Salina has been selling every type of trailer and customizing the baddest trucks in central Kansas for 24 years. Now, K4 is your local dealer for the fastest growing equipment trailer company known as Iron Bull. Plus, Sundowner's newest line of toy haulers, Blazer. K4 is one of the largest stocking trailer dealers in Kansas. K4 also services what they sell and will help you hitch and go. K4 Trailer, RV and truck accessories on West State Street in Salina and K4Trailersales.com.
Springtime is here and we're on the go. Visit Commercial Tire Center and get ready to roll. We're driving more and more and getting ready for springtime activities. From the smallest lawnmower tires to passenger tires, farm tires, and the largest truck tires. Call Commercial Tire for repairs that aren't tire related. Our automotive and diesel mechanics will fix it right the first time. Commercial Tire Centers, West Crawford and North 9th in Salina.
Commercial Tire Centers, where service is everything.
The NASCAR Cup Series.
We are cup racing and the green flag is out.
Returns to the Monster Mile.
Travel up in turn number 3. Eric Almirola up and into the outside wall. Boy, he hit it a ton.
For 400 laps of intense racing action.
Alex Bowman up off turn number 4. Looks to Shannon Bednarik, sees the checkered flag in the air.
It's the Duramax Dryden 400 presented by Relodyne.
It's the Duramax Dryden 400 Sunday at 1 p.m. here on 910 a.m. 107.5 FM KINA.
Oh my, what a fresh smell, and this entire place is so clean.
You would never guess our friend here is talking about a porta potty. Not just any porta potty. This is a portable bathroom from Salina Septic Service. Salina Septic Service is changing the game with higher standards of cleanliness and service. Porta potties don't have to be gross, so don't accept any less when you can have the best from Salina Septic Service. Now serving Hutch, McPherson, and the Gray Bend areas.
When you hire Street Plumbing, Heating, and Electric in Salina and Lincoln, you'll be making a great decision. Providing full-service plumbing and HVAC, they have the knowledge and skills to get the job done right the first time. They work with you throughout the project to ensure you get the personalized service you deserve from licensed and insured technicians. Excellent customer service in Central Kansas since 1985. The experienced team will clean the premises once the job is done. Street Plumbing, Heating, and Electric. Know them better at streetphe.com.
Show Construction does metal roofs. Show Construction offers residential, commercial, and ag metal roofing. Show offers designer rib steel, standing seam, screw-down panels, or stone-coated steel. Show Construction has financing available with low monthly payments. When it's time for a new metal roof, remember Show Construction. We'll travel to you and provide free estimates. Call 833-2007. That's 833-2007. Google us, showroofing.com, or find us on Facebook. Show Construction, the company your neighbors trust. And now back to the Coach O Show with Devin Hanney and Coach Heron O'Neal.
Back here on the Coach Heron O'Neal Show. We're at AJ's in the Alley, downtown Salina, as we make our way through the last segment here of the Coach O Show. And Roy Lawrence joins us now. Roy, you and I have known each other, gosh, I don't know how long now. I remember calling basketball in a gym down in Canton in a midseason boys tournament for southeast of Saline, playing St. John's Military. That might be the first time I met you. That's been at least 12 years ago, probably. Yeah. But people know you because just being a staple of the St. John's Military School, coaching, leading men out there, and doing things out there. Now you're involved with Salina Liberty, and you've been in here and in some Liberty workings for a while. Why'd you get involved in this? And just tell me just some of the things that you do with the Liberty.
Well, originally I got in because of Francis Flax. And Coach Flax and I worked together back when the Kansas Cagers. And one day he decided that I had just gotten out of a hospital. I had a broken leg and was in an accident. And as Francis always does, he says, hey, I need you to go to a meeting. And I show up to this meeting, and that's when I meet Tom, Dan, and all the other guys, the players that are part of the Liberty. And they talk about the business part, and they said, well, what do you think? I said, oh, it's okay. They said, well, you got to leave now. We're going to do real business. And Francis says, he can't go nowhere. So I sit there and listen to the whole spiel, and next thing I know, I'm writing a check. I'm part owner of the Liberty.
Yeah.
So I've enjoyed it from the beginning. I still enjoy it today, because this community's gotten behind us 100%. And I still think there's some people out there that we just haven't tapped. And, we will get you there eventually.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think a championship will change that. And we've been on that path for 7 years now. We went from worst to first, and we just got to get over that hump. And I feel like with all the things that happened this year, we're still in that position to go do it.
So I want to go back to the Cagers days, because I know there's people that still speak fondly of the Cagers and a great group of ownership in that organization as well. What are some of the parallels that you see between the Liberty and the Cagers, and also what did you learn through the Cagers days that you were able to implement here now with the Liberty? Even though it's two different sports, operationally there's some things there that maybe you use and you still do to this day.
What's the biggest difference, or the biggest thing between the two, is you got local people who own it. And when you got your face in this community, people see who you are every single day, everywhere you go. You're out there, your face is part of something that is part of this community. And that's what ties it together, the two. That's the similarity. And with Francis and I think with him being at Brown Mackey as long as he was and me at St. John's, it was just a great fit. This community saw us, and then you got Tom, and then you got Dan, and we had other owners that were part and moved on, but with local ownership is a big thing.
One thing I always talk with you is hoops. We talk about basketball quite a bit, and you told me after one of the games that, gosh, Devin, I think I'm going to go Final Four. And you didn't go to that one, but you've been to several. But you're a basketball guy from roots, right? I mean, you started out, you played basketball, you're successful at basketball. Tell people that may know you that don't know that part of your life, just kind of about some of the basketball doings that you were in when you were younger.
Well, I played in 4 state championships, and, I've won 2 of the 4. And once I left St. Louis, and I went down to Neosho County and Chanute and played there for 2 solid years. Left there, went up to school in Iowa, had a car accident, and ended up here in Salina and followed my junior college coach. And when things didn't get right, I landed my job at St. John's Military School, but basketball paved my way. And without it, I don't know what I would have done because, I had my opportunity to go on the big stage, and I had an accident that set me back. And I got into coaching, and I thought, a way to get back to something after you're injured and can't go is coach and lead kids. And I think St. John's Military School gave me a great opportunity to do that. And, I took kids that had no leadway in life and made them into men. And, it's not always about your wins and losses. But I got a lot of successful players that played for me that are out in the communities doing real big things. And I keep in contact with all of them.
So, some of that experience also translates to what we're doing now with the Liberty, right? I mean, because you get these guys come from all over the nation and sometimes outside of the country too. And a lot of times some of them may not have a path. They may not have a next goal. They're living day by day. And you get a chance to kind of give them a lending hand and help them along the way to it with some life things that, it's not always about right now. You got to be looking around the corner and seeing what's going on.
Right. And that's the good thing about Coach O'Neal. It's you take a different team. It's like a puzzle. You put everything in a box. You shake it out on the table. You got X amount of weeks to get it prepared. And if you can put it together and go, that's what coaching is about. I mean, most people that have talent, they're not coaching. Their talent's taking care of itself. You bring the talent in and try to put it all together in a unit in a 2-week period, and you keep that success throughout the entire season. That's what coaching is about.
We're always thankful for the sponsors. There's a ton of banners at Tony's Pizza Event Center on game days. You guys have done a really, really great job with everybody that supports Liberty football. What's the next step? You talked about a championship. People like to associate themselves with winning and with trophies and things that shine. What's the next step other than a championship here for the Liberty? What's something that's on your mind that you want to talk about?
I think we need some larger corporate sponsors to step up and help our league. Francis and I know some players that are either played in NFL, NBA, that we've reached out to and trying to pull those guys in. It would be a start. And then you take some of our other ownership group that they have their businesses can pull in some of the larger corporate sponsors. It's just a matter of how to get there. And I think once we do that, our whole league is going to be successful.
Definitely starts with ticket sales, right?
Yes,
It's the low level, because not only do we want people to be a part of this team, we want butts in the seats, so to speak. We want the tickets to get sold, and that starts with this Saturday. The next 2 home games at Tony's Pizza Event Center. We will have a good one, an expansion team coming in on Saturday with the Rapid City Marshals, then a chance to get a rematch against the Billings Outlaws a week from Saturday. So the next 2 games at Tony's Pizza Event Center are going to be really good.
They are. And, I think Rapid City coming in, they're new. I don't know very much about them, but I think with Billings coming back here, we owe them something. I could speak a little bit more about how I feel, but I'm not going to say that on record.
I can bill you out and say we're running out of time. How's that?
Yeah. Because I think we kind of got short end of the stick on all this other stuff, but that's just my own opinion. But it is very important that we get our fans out there. And as we always say, find a neighbor, find a friend, find somebody at church, in your business, bring them along, because once they get in, they're going to be just like you. They're going to be hooked. And, you know, one thing that working out at One Vision that Jimmy Sponder did, he offered all of his employees a season ticket.
Okay.
And told them, said, bring your friends, bring your family. Here's what we're going to do for the tickets. If you get them, you're in. I will help you. And so about 75 of his employees bought tickets.
Wow.
So that's quite a bit for one business.
It is.
And they bought them season tickets. So if other businesses can do that, it would help us greatly. It would help the community. It would help you, because everybody needs to be involved.
And it all starts Saturday. The Rapid City Marshals come in town, and then the Billings Outlaws. Those are your next two home games coming up on the next 2 Saturdays at Tony's Pizza Event Center. If you have any questions, holler at Roy. He'll help you, or myself. Kids tickets start at $7. Adult tickets start at just $12. It is great family fun. All the games start at 6:35. Doors open at 5:30. Tailgating is always encouraged at Tony's Pizza Event Center. Come out and make a day of it. And that is this edition of the Coach Heron O'Neal Show. I want to thank Roy Lawrence, Kelvin McCoy, and of Coach Heron O'Neal as we get ready for the Rapid City Marshals coming up on Saturday at 6:35 at Tony's Pizza Event Center. We'll see you out there, and as always, go Liberty.